So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidil anbiya wal mursalin. We are continuing with Al-Muhalla, page 33, issue 24, which is line 4. Date, yeah, today the year 2005, month 05, which is May, and day 19. المسألة 24 وإن الملائكة حق وهم خلق من خلق الله عز وجل مكرمون كلهم رسل الله. قال الله تعالى والملائكة يدخلون عليهم من كل باب، آية 23 الرعد. وقال تعالى بل عباد مكرمون، آية 26 أنبياء. وقال تعالى جاعل الملائكة رسلا أولي أجنحة مثنى وثلاث ورباع، آية 1 فاطر. This issue number 24, and that the angels are truth. It's a truth that the angels exist and they are creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, noble creation, who are not ennobled. All of them are messengers of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَالْمَلَائِكَةُ يَدْخُلُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنْ كُلِّ بَابٍ. The angel enter in them from every door. This is ayah 23 al-Ra'd, referring to Yawm al-Qiyamah, to the paradise. And Allah, the exalted, said بَلْ عِبَادٌ مُكْرَمُونَ, they are but only noble slaves, or honored slaves. Ayah 26 al-Anbiya. And Allah, the exalted, says He is the maker of the angels into messengers with wings 2, 3, 4, etc. Ayah number 1 Fatir. Just this is clear. The issue with many people do not recognize, this is my comment now, why the believing in the angel is one of the 6 cornerstones of Islam. Says, what's the fuss about the existence of the angels? Does not seem to be very relevant. The issue is that they are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are not gods or sons of God. So believing in the angels, that they are created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's the most important thing. Because in times past, many people believe that angels are divine beings, or they are the daughters or the sons of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or something like that. So that was completely annihilated and negated by Islam, and shown that there are entities called angels, which we don't know about their nature in any greater details, and they are the creation of Allah subhanahu, not sons, not part of the divine being. Specifically, the Holy Spirit is just another name of a major angel called Gabriel, who usually comes with the message to the messengers, and this is the Holy Spirit, or the truth, or the trustworthy spirit. These are synonymous names for Jibreel, nothing else. So it's not even a part of the divinity, like in the Christian Trinity. The statement of Ibn Hazm say, and all of them are messengers. I don't know how is that 100% the case that all of them are messengers to someone, but some of them are messengers, that's definitely, because he may rely on the ayah, Allah made the angels messengers with 1 or 2, 3, 4 wings, but from that it does not necessarily mean that every angel is a messenger, but I don't know.
Isn't it linguistically maybe that malaika comes from muluk, which means messenger?
Mala'aka, yeah, from that maybe. And they're messenger for something, maybe, Allahu A'lam, but not messenger is that they should carry a message to humans or to other creatures, Allahu A'lam. Anyway, this is not a major point. Some of them at least are messenger, maybe all of them, if it's proven by other evidences, because this ayah does not necessarily indicate that every angel is as I see it at the face value. Maybe if you read it the context and you see it, or other evidences will enforce that, but this is a minor point anyway. Now we to line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, line 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so 11 until 15. This is issue 25. خلقوا المسألة 25 خلقوا كلهم من نور وخلق آدم من ماء وتراب وخلق الجن من نار. حدثنا عبد الله بن يوسف حدثنا أحمد بن فتح حدثنا عبد الوهاب بن عيسى حدثنا محمد بن عيسى حدثنا إبراهيم بن محمد حدثنا مسلم بن الحجاج حدثنا عبد بن حميد حدثنا عبد الرزاق حدثنا معمر عن الزهري عن عروة عن عائشة قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خلقت الملائكة من نور وخلق الجان من مارج من نار وخلق آدم مما وصف لكم. وقال تعالى ولقد خلقنا الإنسان من سلالة من طين، آية 12 المؤمنون. Issue number 25, all of them, referring to the angels, all of them were created or are created from light, and Adam is created from water and dust or soil, and the jinn are created from fire. He narrates now. Abdullah ibn Yusuf reported to us, Ahmad ibn Fath reported to us, Abdul Wahab ibn Isa reported to us, Muhammad ibn Isa reported to us, Ibrahim ibn Muhammad reported to us, Imam Muslim al-Hajjar reported to us. Now we are Sahih Muslim. Abd ibn Humayd reported to us, Abd al-Razzaq reported to us, Ma'mar reported to us, from Az-Zuhri, from Urwa, from Aisha, She said, the Messenger of Allah said, the angels were created from light, and the jinn were created from marij min nar, a mixture of fire, or a smoky fire. And Adam created from that what has been described to you. So check the Quran. The Quran speaks about meaning. The Quran speaks about some place from dust, some place from mud, some place from water. So it is a mix of that. And every place is referred to one component, which shows that if Allah says Adam is created from dust, does not mean it's not created from water. He says everything living on earth is created from water, doesn't mean it doesn't have another component. So it does not mean exclusively from that. The word, because it did not say exclusively from. So don't take, if it says created from this, meaning it's only from this. Don't add the word only from your imagination. Only if it stays there, then it is there. Otherwise you will fall in such blunders are made by scholars in fiqh and elsewhere, putting in exclusively where it doesn't belong, and sometimes even dropping exclusively where it is there without evidence. Sometimes it is exclusively in the form of exaggeration. إنما, to exaggerate. For example, إنما أهلك الذين من قبلكم. That's all my comments. It destroyed the nation before you exclusively, that they punish the weak and leave the strong. But another place, the nation before you were destroyed because they asked the messengers, they are back and forth with the messenger, asking and asking and asking. Two different issues. Means almost the only reason. It's not the only reason. The other reason, but it's to exaggerate. So if you would single some destructive reason, this would be that one. But there are more. But this is so important, it would be destructive. Where? So this is using the innama in the to indicate exaggeration rather than real exclusivity, verbal exclusivity. Yeah. It was Ismail. So neglect him. If he's coming, he's coming. So that's and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says وَخَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ سُلَالَةٍ مِنْ طِينٍ. Even more, is we created man from a descendant from tin, from sulala. Sulala is a descendant from tin. So he's not so this is an indication he's not directly from tin, from mud. He's from a descendants of mud. Sharpen your ears. Min sulala min tin. From a descendants or from an inheritance, or sulala is like genealogy, or something descent from something. Salla from extract from extraction, from extraction from extraction, like genealogy. Son from father, from grandfather. This is a sulala. You may use it sometimes for family, the sulala of Al-Saud. Sometimes it's used in a demeaning sense. They come generation after generation with the same features and so on. Yeah. So sulala from so it's not directly from tin, but sulala min tin. So we have now an extra evidence for what we discussed previously. It's not directly from tin. So this is an added evidence. So it's not immediately from tin. This is min sulala min tin. This is ayah 12, Surah Al-Mu'minun. Maybe we should pause for a second. Ismail, you're disturbing our class. So watch carefully for the expression of the Quran in various places and combine them so we have the complete image. One of the main problems of scholars, and both to be more dangerous in Aqidah than in Sharia, is that when one evidence is taken and the other one is not taken into consideration to a great extent. That's one problem. We will see examples even Ibn Hazm making such a mistake. This divisive mentality of previous scholars is really annoying. We will see down, neglecting other evidence and not putting them together. Now line, I think, is 12. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That's the line before last. That's issue 26. Lines 17 or 16 until 26. مسألة 26. والملائكة أفضل خلق الله تعالى لا يعصي أحد منهم في صغيرة ولا كبيرة وهم سكان السماوات. قال الله تعالى لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. آية 6 تحريم. وقال تعالى لن يستنكف المسيح أن يكون عبدا لله ولا الملائكة المقربون. آية 172 نساء. فهذا تفضيل لهم على المسيح عليه السلام. وقال تعالى ولقد كرمنا بني آدم وحملناهم في البر والبحر ورزقناهم من الطيبات وفضلناهم على كثير ممن خلقنا تفضيلا. We have آية 70 الإسراء. ولم يقل تعالى على كل من خلقنا. ولا خلاف في أن بني آدم أفضل من كل خلق سوى الملائكة، فلم يبق إلا الملائكة. وإسجاله تعالى الملائكة لآدم على جميعهم السلام سجود تحية، فلو لم يكونوا أفضل منه لم يكن له فضيلة في أن يكرم بأن يحيوه. وقد تقصينا هذا الباب في كتاب الفصل غاية التقصي، والحمد لله رب العالمين. وقال تعالى: وترى الملائكة حافين من حول العرش، آية 75 الزمر. Before translation, this issue may be controversial by some people, but it is nothing essential in belief anyway. It says, والملائكة أفضل خلق الله. The angels are the best of Allah's creation, the best. لا يعصي الله منهم لا يعصي أحد منهم الله في صغيرة وكبيرة. Nobody of them disobeys Allah, neither in a minor nor in a major issue, and the other dwellers of heaven. Allah the Exalted says, لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. They do not disobey Allah in any command, and they do what they are ordered to do. آية 6 سورة التحريم. And Allah the Exalted says, لن يستنكف المسيح أن يكون عبدا لله ولا الملائكة المقربون. The Messiah, المسيح, the son of Maryam, Isa, will not be arrogant or will not be disgusted to be the slave of Allah. He will not feel degraded. He will not feel degraded to be the slave of Allah, nor the Malaika Muqarrabun, the close angels, or they called in the Old Testament the cherubim. The same word, qarib, cherubim is qaribin, the Muqarrabin, the cherubim. Al-Karubiyun is the Hebrew word for qarib, so it's nothing exciting. The Karubiyun, al-Malaika al-Karubiyun, is the Malaika al-Muqarrabun, the one close to in the highest heaven, the carrier of the throne, and the one around. This is Ayah 172 An-Nisa. This is an preference of them over Al-Masih alayhi salam. So this ayah indicates that they are preferred above the Masih alayhi salam. I'm not commenting on that yet. وقال تعالى, Allah Exalted say, we honored the sons of Adam and carried them in sea and land, and we bestowed on them for the goods of the universe, and we prefer them over many of our creation, an eminent and clear preference. This is Ayah 70 Al-Isra. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say we preferred them over all our creation, only over many of our creation. And there is no disagreement, continue, well, there is no disagreement that the sons of Adam are the best of the creation except the angels. So it means that the angels are then the better one above them. And ordering Allah the angels to make sujood to Adam, peace be upon all of them, Adam and the angels both, is a sujood of welcome, a greeting. If they were not better than him, then this will not be a honor for him that the better than him make a greeting to him. So he concludes from that if you order someone lower than you to make sujood to you, there's no real honor. It must be someone higher than you to greet you, to give you a honor. Someone lower than you greeting you is not a great honor. It's just a greeting. Actually, a honor for him to greet you, they have access to you. But a higher one, this is a subtle point. I think he's right in that. A subtle point that the angels are better than Adam because he is honored by their sujood and not vice versa. This is a subtle point, but I will not disagree on that. So if they were not better than him, then it will not be really a great honor or ennobling that they greet him. And we know it's not sujood ibadah, Allah forbid, because Adam is not a divine being, so it must be greeting or respect. And he said, and we have exhaustively discussed this in our book Al-Fisal, بين الملل والنحل, to the utmost extreme, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, praise to Allah for that. So he's referring to the book. And Allah subhanahu says, وَتَرَى الْمَلَائِكَةَ حَافِينَ مِنْ حَوْلِ الْعَرْشِ. In Yawm al-Qiyamah they are still around the throne, continuously making, circumambulating. حَافِينَ مِنْ حَوْلِ الْعَرْشِ. So they are close to the Arsh. Ayah 75 al-Zumar. There's some disagreement with our scholars if not some prophets are higher than the angels. And some classical scholars, also Tabi'in, said the angels are like beings which are by necessity obeying Allah subhanahu, not by choice. So there's not a great honor. They are very honorable, but the one who obeys by choice and could disobey is more honorable. So they say one of the said, he said that humans and also the good humans are better than the angels. Say, and someone was shocked, say, my cousin, yabna akhi, the angels are like the wind, they're just creation which cannot do otherwise. But humans are the one who by choice, so they must be better. So this is not a matter of iman and kufr, but Ibn Hazm has good points, and other scholars have good points. Don't regard this aqidah is a neat small point of no great importance. But they are definitely noble creation. They are very high ranking. They are very noble. Allah nobled them. Know that. But are they better than humans, or some humans better than them, or is Muhammad better than the angels? I think it's a mute point. Not really. They are well in very high rank anyway. And this is enough, really. I think nobody should have much headache about that. Who is higher than who, etc. For example, Muhammad approached to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Laylat al-Mi'raj further than Jibreel. In another situation, the Prophet was, where he said, Jibreel come to me in another Mi'raj, not that main Mi'raj, and we sat in like the nest of birds in a tree, obviously in vision. He sat in a nest and sat in a nest. And then it went up in heaven higher and higher and higher, and the higher it gets, Jibreel became smaller and smaller and smaller out of submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, until he fell unconscious. Muhammad was unconscious. Now I recognize how much fear to Allah he has. But someone say someone who has the fear of Allah but it does not become unconscious is higher. His mind is present. So Muhammad is higher in mentality. Jibreel is higher in plain fear, which is better. You see that all these things, huh? So there are many aspects to that. So I wouldn't really indulge. Also, Ibn Hazm has a strange point of view for many scholars that the best of the Ummah after the Prophet is his wives, not Abu Bakr and Umar. They rank higher. It has also merits because he said they are with him in the same level in paradise, in the same housing, while Abu Bakr is still lower. It's a bit lower, so it must be better. You see, there are so many aspects there, and getting involved in that is a sign of weak mind, I would say. Because someone is better in some aspect and absolutely maybe they cannot be ranked in a straight line. Who said that better or is not so complex that it cannot be in one line? There may be some, like we said, the point on a circle, they have the same distance from the center. You cannot order them except say one is with angle that and one with angle that in various angles, because you have two-dimensional or more dimensional entity. Then you cannot rank them like greater and smaller in a exclusive way, except artificially. Except that you could the numbers on the circle, you could order them artificially by the angle 0 and higher, but this is artificial. What's meaning angle 3 or 5? Just a direction. It's not really magnitude, which we as humans regard really as order in principle. So it's a mute point, I would say. It's not worth really any headache. You can say the one or one, and you can have some, if you have some leisure time to analyze these things and develop them, no problem. I don't mind. I don't have the leisure time, frankly speaking, to do the important things, let alone the secondary things. But some people had, and they love these things. So this should not be a contentious issue. They are definitely noble creation. They don't disobey. That's a fact of the Quran, because they're not created to have a free will in that sense. They're not created to have a free will, although they have certain rationality, but not the, like Adam was able to recognize the names. He has the capability of making concepts. Some people say he has all the names at once, or equivalently, no, he has the capability to give names, to classify things in categories, name things. Say, this tree is differently. So this, we call this one apple, we call this buma mula. Two different things. He can recognize the differences. It seems to be the angels evidently do not have that, because they were challenged. Tell me the names of these things. We don't know. You do not teach us. How do we know? While Adam told them the name. Obviously by teaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he has capabilities of certain time they don't have, although they may be more honorable than him in another aspect. So as I said, that's not worthy of much discussion. Both are noble and both are high ranking, and this is enough to know. And any other further study there is just intellectual luxury, nothing of necessity.
What is the actual purpose, if you don't mind? I mean, in the Quran it says, man and jinn were created for worship. The same with the angels.
Same for angels, yeah. لا يعصون الله ما they're just obedience as messengers. جعل الملائكة رسلا ولأجنحة مثلا, etc. Actually, Ibn Hazm say all the angels are messengers is mistaken in the sense, because but Allah says Allah يصطفي من الملائكة رسلا ومن الناس. Allah elects from the angels messenger from us. So not all angels are messengers. He elects. So that he made the messenger means most likely means they are capable, all of them, of being messengers. But he chooses some of them to be actual messengers. While humans, they are not all capable to be messengers. Yeah, they have to be selected for that specifically, and they are not created to be messengers by their own design. But some of them are excluded outside. While the angels are standard, they are ready to go. But they may be sent, maybe not. There's no need for any preparation. Anyone is ready to be a messenger. Example for that, the Prophet complained in Mecca one day, all are standby, they are created ready to go. And he was in Mecca and he complained to Jibreel saying, Wallahi, we did not have even a handful of barley. And the narrator said, and then when he barely finished the sentence and he heard an enormous sound from heaven, he said, Jibreel was shocked, I was shocked, and look to the heaven and ask Jibreel, did Allah order the day of judgment to come? This must be the day of judgment. So massive. So no, but it's an angel who has never come before. And Jibreel became small. And then he said, this is Israfil, one of the carrier of the throne. And he came down and said, your Lord has heard what you want. And he tell you, you have two choices. One choice, to be like that, to be a slave and a messenger, and be hungry one day and eat another day, and suffer and complain about the house has no food at all. Or be a king, and I will order these mountains to become gold if you order them. If you point a mountain, become gold and silver if you wish. And in either case, you will end into paradise, whatever you choose. So Muhammad looked to Jibreel, who was falling on his head. I say, I know Jibreel is a trustworthy advisor, so I said, what to advise? Jibreel said, lower yourself for your Lord. You lower yourself. Say, no, I prefer to be a slave messenger, not a king messenger. And it was over, khalas. And that's the reason even the Prophet, when he sits to eat, he sits like a common people, because kings used to have a special seat. Say, no, I'm a slave. I sit like a slave and eat like a slave all his life. He doesn't sit like kings or sit on the side like that. They have a certain position. One day, one Bedouin saw him sitting and said, how can a man like that sit this way in eating? We told him, I am a slave and I sit like slaves. They eat like kings and tyrants. They have a certain way of sitting. No, I don't eat this way. So he learned this, and Jibreel said, lower yourself for Lord. So he's higher than Dawood and Sulaiman, who were kings. And they were going to paradise also. But he chose to be a slave and a messenger. So you see, this angel came, and Jibreel said this angel never came to earth before, and he will never come again. This is the only time. So stand by immediately, go, special message, quickly, give him this offer if he wants. Yeah? And many stories like that. So they are standby, they are ready. Any one of them can go and do this mission once in all eternities, once. And some will never be at this, because there are plenty of them, like the one who are visiting the blessed house in heaven. 70,000 visits every day, and the things there are regulated. Not like on earth you can make pilgrim every time. You're like, no. You go only one time in all eternities until Yawm al-Qiyamah. They never come back. Every day 70,000 back. Obviously there's the guardian of the place. They are continuously there, so they are enjoying it every day. And the other fellows come from somewhere in the heaven, one every, and maybe some angels will never get the opportunity. They will never get the queue until Yawm al-Qiyamah. We don't know. But this is so numerous are they. Until Yawm al-Qiyamah, every day 70,000 come. And then never come back until Yawm al-Qiyamah. And next day another one, visited by the angels from somewhere in heaven. So it is a massive universe there of entities and structures and consciousness you are completely unaware about. Completely no idea or no concept of these things at all we have. Anyway, back to the continuation. We are going now the last line of page 33, which I think lines 27, and it continues in page 33 will be then continuation page 34, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we stop here. This is issue 27, مسألة 27. وأن الجن حق وهم خلق من خلق الله عز وجل فيهم الكافر والمؤمن يروننا ولا نراهم يأكلون وينسلون ويموتون. قال الله تعالى يا معشر الجن والإنس 130 الأنعام. وقال تعالى والجان خلقناه من قبل من نار السموم 27 الحجر. وقال تعالى حاكيا عنهم أنهم قالوا وأن منا المسلمون ومنا القاسطون فمن أسلم فأولئك تحروا رشدا وأما القاسطون فكانوا لجهنم حطبا آية 14 سورة الجن. وقال تعالى إنه يراكم هو وقبيله من حيث لا ترونهم آية 27 الأعراف. وقال تعالى أفتتخذونه وذريته أولياء من دوني آية 50 الكهف. وقال تعالى كل من عليها فان آية 27 الرحمن. وقال تعالى كل نفس ذائقة الموت آية 185 آل عمران. This is issue 27, and that the jinn, what they call them, the ghosts, the spirits, and jinn, the jinn, let us use the word jinn, are truth. So they exist, and they're creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of them are kafir, disbeliever, and some of them are mu'min, believer, faithful. They see us and we don't see them, and they eat, and they have offsprings, and they die. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah the Exalted said, addressing Ya ma'ashar jinn, all humans and jinn, meaning they are being addressed with the commandments. So they can't be liable of being believer and kafir. Ayah 130 An'am. Allah the Exalted says also, the jinn we created before Adam from the fire of the heat of fire. Ayah 27 Al-Hijr. And Allah said, reporting what they said in Surah Al-Jinn, وَأَنَّ مِنَ الْمُسْلِمُونَ وَمِنَ الْقَاسِطُونَ. From us are the believers, the Muslimun, and from us are the deviators. Those who embraced Islam, who surrendered, those have chose the right rational way, the guided way. وَأَمَّا الْقَاسِطُونَ, but the deviators, they will be the food or the wood of the hellfire. That's Ayah 14 Al-Jinn. And Allah the Exalted say, He sees you and his tribe, the other jinn, Iblis and his tribe, because Iblis is jinni, who from where you don't see them. So you can see us, they can see us, we cannot see them. That's Ayah 27 Al-A'raf. And Allah said also, أَفَتَتَّخِذُونَهُ وَذُرِّيَّتَهُ أَوْلِيَاءَ مِن دُونِي. Do you adopt Iblis and his descendants as allies and friends beside me? Exclusion of me means Iblis has descendants. He's using that as evidence for this point. Ayah 50 Al-Kahf. So they have offsprings and they procreate. The angels do not procreate. وقال تعالى, Allah said, كل من عليها فان. Everyone on it, on earth, and the jinn live on earth. They are inhabitants of earth. They will get extinguished. Everything on earth will get extinct. فان يفنى, will expire. Ayah 27 Ar-Rahman. وقال تعالى كل نفس ذائقة. Every soul will taste death. And this applies to every soul except of the soul or the nafs of Allah, the entity of Allah, because He's eternal, and even the angels, and there are narration about that, at the Yawm al-Qiyamah they will expire. Okay? 185 Al-Imran. And the hadith about Yawm al-Qiyamah, about the angels, that all of them are, and the last one will be Israel, the angel of death. He can see further, and Allah will die, and he dies. And there will be a time where there is no conscious being in the universe, or in whatever remains. We don't know what's that entity remaining for very long times. None except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Yeah, there's actually a verse that says only the face of Allah will
remain. And then the hadith says He will call, I am the king, I am the living. Where are the kings? Where are the tyrants? Where are they? None is there. And He answered to him, only Allah remains. Then He will order the creation of the universe again, and then there will be a resurrection. So even the angels will expire. But that's not the issue. The issue is about the jinn. They will die, except Iblis, who will stay until Yawm al-Qiyamah. But all die in due time. They have maybe long lives, short lives, but they will taste death. No escape from that. None will escape. And some said exclusion to the inhabitants of the paradise, like al-Hur who are there, or the Shuhada who have already tasted death. They have already tasted death. But the ones in paradise are excluded because they are not created for death. They're not created for this time. They're created for eternities anyway. So they're not part of that what has to expire anyway. And there are various bits and evidences to be put together, but this is the general picture. Anyone involved in this universe will taste death, except its creator. Next paragraph of this issue is line, which line we are now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 10 to 13. And then there's a footnotes. We may mention some of that later, but this is the main body here. حدثنا أحمد بن محمد بن الجسور وعبد الله بن ربيع. قال أحمد أخبرنا وهب بن مسرة أخبرنا محمد بن وضاح حدثنا أبو بكر بن أبي شيبة. وقال عبد الله حدثنا محمد بن معاوية حدثنا أحمد بن شعيب حدثنا هناد بن السري. ثم اتفق ابن أبي شيبة وهناد قال حدثنا حفص بن غياث عن داود الطائي عن الشعبي عن علقمة عن عبد الله بن مسعود قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تستنجوا بالعظام ولا بالروث فإنهما زاد إخوانكم من الجن. Reported to us Ahmad ibn Muhammad ibn al-Jasur wa Abdullah ibn Rabi'. Ahmad said, Ibn Wahab reported to us, Ahmad said, Wahab ibn Masarra reported to us Muhammad ibn Waddah, reported to us Abu Bakr ibn Shayba. This is what Ahmad ibn al-Jasur said. And Abdullah ibn Rabi' said, حدثنا معاوية بن محمد بن معاوية, reported to us Muhammad ibn Muawiyah, reported to us Ahmad ibn Shu'aib, Al-Nasai, Imam Al-Nasai is Ahmad ibn Shu'aib, reported to us Hannad ibn Sari. Then both Ibn Abi Shayba and Hannad agreed and continued saying Qala. They were not in the same session, not in the same, they are in various places and various books, but they said, everyone in his book and his narration in his time. They are at the same time roughly, but they may be in different cities. Qala, they said, reported to us Hafs ibn Ghiyath from Dawood al-Ta'i from الشعبي, from Alqama, from Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, the Messenger of Allah said, don't use bones or animal excrement which comes like rawth, dry, for istinja, for self-cleaning, because they are the supply or the food of your brothers from the jinn. The bones are the supplies for the jinn themselves, and the rawth, the droppings of the camel and so on, is the supply for the animals, which are jinn animals also. Yeah, they have their own animals, dawab al-jinn. Yeah, there's another nation says in that detail. Let me just make a small comment on that. There may be a problem with the conclusion of Ibn Hazm here, because we have a very interesting narration from Ibn Abbas. He said the jinn are three types. A type which is liable of punishment and resurrection and punishment Yawm al-Qiyamah, which like human, kannas. Iblis is one of them. And the type which are causing diseases like the pestilence, so he may be talking about bacteria. And the type which are like they're hidden at day and come at night like snakes and so on, so they're called jinn, because and also what the name of the snake is called jan, because they hide at day and come at night, so they, because of their hiding nature, they are called jan. So we cannot conclusively say that this is the food of the jinn who are like humans, responsible and be addressed to command. It may be the food of this other, and they're called ikhwanukum. Pause. We may pause. Yeah. So just this precautionary remark that this may need further study. There may be a problem when he says they are the zad of the supply of your brothers from jinn, because brother indicates something, brother in faith. But this could be meaning they are good entities, worth of calling brothers. We don't know. So it's a bit of a dark area. I wouldn't regard that as a major issue of Aqidah. Major issue is that certain creation called jinn, and some of them are definitely addressed with commandments, and some of them could rebel and obey commandments, and they tend to be more arrogant and more disobedient than humans because of their nature being originating from fire. They are more like fiery and disobedient creature, but there are many believers under them. And from this category which interests us, the real jinn will be Iblis. But we have also bacteria are definitely a category of jinn according to Ibn Abbas, and those who cause and there's a hadith supporting that. That's about the ta'un. It is the pinch or wakhz. What is wakhz? Pricking, the pricking of your enemies from jinn. And the enmity is not enmity in belief, is enmity in behavior. They are hostile jinns, bad bacteria. So they call them enemies. Wakhz a'daikum al-jinn. So combined with what we know from science now about this disease, that it is because of certain bacteria, so this is definitely a type which could synchronize with the Abbas statement. So it's synchronized nicely. And then we have the third type, which is known to Arabs and otherwise, and we use in the Quran, that the snakes which go at night and stay at day are called jinn or jan, because they hiding night creatures who are usually going at night. You don't see them until they attack you or bite you. So all these three categories of jinn. So Ibn Abbas said clearly there are three types of jinn, and he classified them like that. The ones who have addressed by commandments like humans, this is the jinn which we mean they are genuine, the ones who causes diseases, and the ones who are sleeping at night and come at day like certain types of snake. So don't get stuck too much in that. This is more complex and varied than some people, simple-minded people think.
The ones referred to as causing diseases, does that like encompass all microbes? Or
no, we have an example of them, and then we can conclude rationally that the other from them, you cannot see them, because jinn means hidden. That's the meaning of what jinn in Arabic is, the hidden thing. That's all.
Microbes.
That's explicitly in the hadith. وَخْزُوا أَعْدَائِكُمْ مِنَ الْجِنِّ for the plague, for the pestilence. And a fortiori, if that's a type of jinn, then there are many other types. Yeah, we could conclude that. So all disease bacteria are our enemies from a type of jinn, not meaning the enemy of the jinn of the type. Some people in the time past will conclude this is the attack of the jinn of the type, like of the Iblis family. No, it's some Iblis family. Iblis will attack your mind and your heart, try to make you a deviator, will not attack your body with a disease. That's another family of jinn. And that is your enemy because because it's hostile to human, it's damaging to human. But the word enemy is not only used in matter of aqidah. It's used, for example, when the Prophet said, when you sleep, you should extinguish fire. The fire is your enemy. But if it was also your friend, it's very useful. But it can't be your enemy. It can't be in your house, because some people slept leaving a candle, and a mouse came and kicked the candle, and they have fire, and they barely escape. Said, when you sleep, extinguish the fire, because it's your enemy. If you don't supervise, it will burn you. It will get you. So, without being a conscious being. So not enemy meaning the enemy in belief necessary. So maybe if it is the supply of your brothers in jinn, mean the jinn which are good, because the jinns who eat the bones and the jinns who eat the animal droppings really are good environmental jinns. They will disintegrate, that will become. I am not just speculating a bit. I'm not saying this is certain, and nor are we in the studying the nature of jinns or various families of jinn. That's not our main purpose. But it opens the door that these maybe the jinns mentioned here are not the jinns which Ibn Hazm intended really, the family of Iblis. Something else. So it may be that's the one. These materials, we are prohibited from using them, because this way they will be contaminated, and the good bacteria which will disintegrate them into fertilizer and make them streamline in the environment, because otherwise if there were no bacteria demolishing that, the earth would have been expired billions of years ago, yeah, from these droppings and so on. But the good bacteria, they are ikhwan, because they don't attack humans actually. Even the bacteria disintegrating animal droppings, turning it into fertilizer, is quite useful for humans, and usually non-pathogenic. So they are ikhwan, brothers, the opposite of enemy in that sense. Not necessarily brother in faith, but brother in goodness of the surrounding universe. Yeah. So that's an avenue. So it may be that the usual jinns, maybe they don't eat and so on, because they have a spiritual nature. But those jinns of this, they do eat, because they are of material type, and they're not necessarily the ones made from fire. So maybe there is Ibn Hazm did not have this point elaborated that much, and he thought all of that has come about the word jinn applies to one category. But we know that from various resources, and from the very intelligent comment of Ibn Abbas, that the jinn of three types, we know that we have really three categories of jinn. So the word jinn should be taken cautiously when it comes in Sunnah. Yeah. In Quran it will be only these spiritual beings, but in Sunnah and in other narration it may be one of these three categories. Is that clear? So you have now some resolution of some problems in some people's minds. Alhamdulillah. And the Quran and Sunnah brings us many resolutions which we are not aware about, but provided you do it comprehensively and not get stuck in one place and regard it as absolute. There's a footnote here. He's discussing the narration of this hadith. أخرجه الترمذي. Said the hadith which said don't use for istinja neither bones nor the animal droppings, because they are the supply of your brothers from the jinn. And I think he has an objection. He has this long hadith, and this part of the hadith, don't use that for istinja, is coming from a channel, a narrator, which the two different narrators. One, the stronger one, Ismail ibn Ulayya, made it only from the statement from Sha'bi, not from the Prophet, a comment from Sha'bi, and the other narrator made it from a statement of the Prophet ﷺ. So the scholars have some disagreement, is it really marfu' or not, so this part. But even if it's from Sha'bi, he must have taken it from Sahaba and so on. I don't think Sha'bi is speaking about jinn and hidden things for his own design, so he must have taken it from maybe some Sahabi comments or something. It could ultimately be a marfu'. If it's marfu', we have this, it is not really the jinn we are talking about, the standard jinn which comes in our mind in the face. And if it's not marfu', then it's an ijtihad of some Sahabi which is worthy of taking a look at it and give it some scrutiny. Then you don't, in that case, if you regard it as shad and not marfu', you will not use it as an evidence not to use bones for istinja. But who is going to use bones and animal dropping for istinja anyway, for God's sake? There's plenty of water and paper around too. So I don't think it has any very much practical relevancy. That and I would really, it seems it could be very well marfu'. Could be very well marfu', because this is not the type usually, nor it's known from the people of the book. You could say maybe one of the Sahaba read it from the people of the book, or one of the Tabi'in and adopted from there. Is nothing like that mentioned in their books anyway. So it seems to be genuinely Islamic. If something smells like the people of the book, you may full stop, cautious. It may have been taken from their books, and many things like that. This is one of the very important points you should keep in your mind. especially those Sahaba who known to read from people of the book plenty, like Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. But Abu Huraira used to be a friend of Ka'b al-Ahbar. Anything related to genesis, creation, and so on, coming from those. And if there's any doubt about marfu', you could say, this may be from people of the book. Especially if it contradicts some well-established sciences and things like that. Then you could say, full stop. Like for example, there's a hadith, which in the books you find marfu', that the Adam was created 60 meters high or 60 in heaven, and then the creation became smaller and smaller until now. Now we can dig all earth, we don't find anyone 60 meters high anyway. So there must be something, that must be one of the myths of the people of the book. Another one, I think it is a Sahabi saying that the women of Bani Israel were punished, banned from the masjid, and that they were then, because they did some type of disobedience, and they were punished by menstruation. Come on, people, you know what's menstruation? It's physiology, has nothing to do with punishment. So we can scrub that. Even if it comes like marfu', you know there's a illa in the matan. Someone made a mistake, someone confused in his mind and made it marfu'. It's really from a Sahabi, and Sahabi took it from the people of the book. Because you know in the people of the book, they claim that Eve or some other woman was punished for some misdeed with starting to menstruate. Come on, menstruation is as old as the creation.
It's the same with homosexuality.
Things like that, similar things like that. But you have to be very cautious. You have to be very cautious, something like that.
I had an argument with someone about this. He goes, homosexuality originated from the people of Lut.
There's some point, because in the Quran says this is a fahisha, nobody before you did it, but he is addressing people. Nobody did it in public in this way. It may have been hidden here and scattered, but in such like a traditional, like a public moral, like everyone does it and it is publicly acceptable, you are the first to do that. But does not mean there was nobody doing homosexuality before that. There was, but they made it institutional. It's like San Francisco now. It's publicly. I was once trying, just a small comment. I was in San Francisco area doing sabbatical in 81, 82, and some friend of my uncle came for medical treatment and he needed surgery. So we were looking for housing for him near to the hospital in the San Francisco itself, in the city. I was in Berkeley, and then I went to a housing agent and I asked her, we need to say, okay, what do you want? Do you want a straight or gay? I was not aware about these terms yet. So I said, could you explain me, because I have no idea what is straight and gay. What does this mean? Said, straight is people who have normal sexuality, they marry only women. And there's area which, well-established area where people who are having the same sexual orientation, they live men with men. I don't know, get us in the straight area, please. The first time in my life, an agent asks you, it's a standard question in San Francisco in 81.
81.
In 81, yes, a standard question. He said, what's your preference? Do you mind to be in a straight or gay area? Say, our main issue is to be near to the hospital, but please, if you can put us in a normal area, we'll be happier. So you get, it becomes so public, you get surprised. My father-in-law was visiting us in Germany in the late 60s or early 70s, maybe 71. He died 85. So he visited us. We were still studying there, and we were walking in the street with his daughter, with me. It was my mother, Arma's mother. She's divorced long ago. So he saw some picture on a magazine. He doesn't have very good vision. Some picture there. So he came to look what the picture was. It was a naked woman with her bottom exposed. He said, "A'udhu billah." He never saw that like in a magazine. At that time, pornography was just starting. So if you say the pornography has not been done by creation before you, it's right. There were some naked. You find maybe some pharaoh pictures naked. You may find even sexual intercourse statues from the time of the Roman. That was very rare. Maybe used to education or something in school.
Yeah. Well, but they keep them.
Yeah,
they
some.
don't put them in public.
But not in public like that. But it's being in public and approved publicly, and you have a special shelves in every shop almost available for them. It is only modern phenomena. But it was there. There was pornography in the 19th century and the 18th century, but a small amount and semi-hidden in public. So the same with the homosexuality. So the Quran says clearly, this fahisha in this way, nobody was a precedent of you in a creation. No, that doesn't mean that there was nobody doing homosexuality at all. No, it means in that way, publicly. تأتون في ناديكم منكر publicly. And everyone has a boyfriend in his side, like a girlfriend, everything normal. That was not done before in this extent. That's not necessarily meaning it has never been done at all. Yeah, that's.
when he said to Lut alayhi salam, why did he introduce
So
him
yeah,
to
you
your
have
friends?
you have to be cautious. For example, the same with John, Yahya. لم نجعل له من قبل سميا. Some people think maybe the meaning that nobody had, some Islamic scholars said nobody was named Yahya before this Yahya. But if you check this history, but they say there are many Yahyas before him, so no prophet with this name, because the prophets have like standard repetitious names. Often Bani Israel, many have the similar name, the first name and so on, but nobody has of the prophets such a name or something like that. So you have to be cautious. Sometimes people go overboard and they get in contradiction with history and reality, and they start doubting and say, no, you are the guilty one because you extended the text out of its context and out its reasonable meaning. Yeah? In many other places, for example, the Prophet say it is not fit for a prophet to do that. And people think this is a feature for all prophets. No, but the Prophet said it is not fit for a prophet to enter a house which is beautified with colors and with curtains. No, we know Dawood and Sulaiman, they have palaces which you cannot imagine. So meaning it is not fit for me as a prophet, not for all the prophets.
For a prophet.
For a, meaning himself. That's the only prophet on earth that time. It may fit for previous prophet, maybe not. Yeah. So don't get in this trap, because if you are not very cautious, you may get in some funny things and some odd contradictions.
You can
Yeah.
apply the same for sajda as well, I suppose. Isn't it?
Many other things. Many other
What's
things.
this thing about prophets still alive, fresh in their graves and things like that?
The same with that also. That in Allah حرم على الأرض أن تأكل أجساد الأنبياء, meaning himself essentially, but not necessarily other ones. Unless the
What's that in English?
Allah has prohibited the earth to eat the bodies of the prophets.
Okay.
What?
But you said just for him.
For him, is not necessarily conclusive. Like the one who said it's is unfit for a prophet to enter a house which is beautified. But one was living in the most beautified house on earth, maybe at least Sulaiman and Dawood, and several others.
Well, I've heard, I don't know if it's a hadith, because they're still they're alive in their graves.
Oh yeah, that's the prophets. Yeah. They are like the shaheed, but this is a metaphysical, another type of life, not a normal life.
Yeah.
What kind of miserable life to be in a grave if you are No, that's all these with the grave. The people go. Some Salafi go overboard. They think it's the physical grave. If they think that's, then someone who thinks like that is very, very in the intellectual level of a donkey. Better not to talk to him. Just leave him.
Yeah, some Sufis like to say that.
No, they still metaphorical. While they are in the body, their body is in the grave. But they drop the sentence, they are alive in the grave. Not in that grave. In that grave, nobody will be alive, except the worms, possibly. No. Meaning they are not in a state like the usual dead who are completely secluded from the reality. They still have interaction with reality, but this interaction is also limited, usually in visions. But also other dead may have. The martyrs have. Their spirits are birds in paradise.
On the throne of Allah.
The shaheed, yeah. So they have access more to paradise than the other regular people. And the prophets are fortunately even better.
And what we know about ruh, it means their consciousness.
Consciousness in some other manifestation. Limited manifestation. As I said, entering the paradise in full is only after Yawm al-Qiyamah. But a limited manifestation. And things like that. So this is all metaphysical. It's better to take it as it comes.
People in the grave are conscious.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be shown Jahannam and Jannah.
Yeah, and this is again a door and so on, yeah. And this is again, it's just related to the grave because the body is there. But if someone is burnt completely and turned into dust or fell in a high oven of steel, and I am aware about one of our friends in Germany, a German man, I think his uncle was one of these feeding the high oven of, and then the poor guy slid in the oven. They just continued the oven because nothing can be gained to stop the oven. You know, the high oven of steel. He most likely few grams of his body carbon was used to reduce a bit of iron into the liquid iron. That's it. Nothing remains, completely gone. This one will have no test in the grave. He will have. So it is not a grave. But people use the grave as a reference point. That's all. As just a direction to refer to some point. That's it. And only the most simple-minded or an idiot will start thinking, what happens if someone is eaten by the fish? Okay, or something like that. Then you know this man is having some limited mental capability that can only be merciful. Brother, don't worry. He will be tested. He will get his munkar and nakir. He will get his munkar and nakir in proper place. Don't worry about that. So this is all. All has to be taken not very at face value in material terms. Otherwise, we'll be in trouble immediately. So this question about this part of the hadith, but I would take it as marfu' because there's no reason to believe it's not marfu'. And one good narrator say it's marfu', others made it not marfu'. The one who said it's not marfu' or narrated it mawquf is a more stronger scholar than the other one. But the content and the context indicate that the rafa is indicated in that case. So you will balance the rafa because of other reason. Maybe the other channels of narrations I could check them also inshallah if necessary. But this issue is a mute, so it's not worth putting much energy or aspect. We will check other issues in the future inshallah for the hadith, but not this one. Now page 35. I still a bit of time. Issue 28, that goes from line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and that ends the whole issue. 12 1 to 12. المسألة 28 وأن البعث حق وهو وقت ينقضي فيه بقاء الخلق في الدنيا فيموت كل من فيها ثم يحيي الموتى يحيي عظامهم التي في القبور وهي رميم ويعيد الأجسام كما كانت ويرد إلى الأرواح كما كانت ويجمع الأولين والآخرين في يوم كان مقداره 50,000 سنة يحاسب فيها الجن والإنس ويوفى كل أحد قدر عمله. قال الله تعالى وذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأنه يحيي الموت وأنه على كل شيء قدير وأن الساعة آتية لا ريب فيها وأن الله يبعث ما في القبور. آية 6 الحج. وقال تعالى قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم. آية 78 ياسين. وقال تعالى يوم تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم وأيديهم وأرجلهم بما كانوا يعملون. آية 24 النور. وقال تعالى قل إن الأولين والآخرين لمجموعون إلى ميقات يوم معلوم. آية 50 الواقع. وقال تعالى في يوم كان مقداره 50,000 سنة مما تعدون. وقال تعالى اليوم تجزى كل نفس بما كسبت لا ظلم اليوم إن الله سريع الحساب. آية 4 المعارج. Issue 28 and the resurrection is truth, is حق, it will happen. And it is time where all living beings in this world die. Then Allah will resurrect the dead. He will revive their bones which are in the graves, even if they are completely dust. And recreate the bodies as they were, and will return the souls, consciousness to it. And Allah will collect the first and the last, all creation, in a day whose length is 50,000 years, to account humans and jinn. So everyone will be accounted and will be fully paid what he has earned. Allah the Exalted says, ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأنه يحيي الموتى, because Allah is the truth and He resurrects the dead. وأنه على كل شيء قدير, and He is capable and able to do all things. And that our Sa'ah is coming with no doubt, and that Allah resurrects those who are in the graves. That's ayah number 6 in Surah Al-Hajj. And Allah said, the Exalted says, قال, one kafir is asking, who revives the bones after they have become dust, ramim, finished? Say, O Muhammad, قل يحييها. It will be resurrected by the one who first created it in the first place, and he is fully knowledgeable of his creation. So the one who created it first will be able to do the easier job to recreate it again. 78 Yasin. And Allah the Exalted said, يوم تشهد عليهم ألسنتهم وأيديهم وأرجلهم بما كانوا, the day where their tongues, their hands, their legs will witness against them for that what they have been doing. That is in ayah 24 Surah An-Nur. And Allah said, say, the first and the last, all will be collected to an appointed, well-known day, known to Him, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's well-appointed, well-known to Him. That's ayah 50 al-Waqi'ah. And Allah the Exalted said, في يوم كان مقداره 50,000, in a day whose length is 50,000 years. And Allah Exalted says, اليوم تجزى كل نفس بما كسبت لا ظلم اليوم إن الله سريع الحساب. Today every soul will be rewarded or paid. Rewarded. This reward can be used for both negative and positive, although usually for positive as in English, but you say this is reward even for a criminal act. That's his reward, that's been his punishment. Will be rewarded or paid what it has earned. No injustices today. Allah is very quick and fast in accounting. That's ayah 4 Surah Al-Ma'arij. So that's the day of resurrection. Let me again what we commented earlier about qabr and so on. There was a theory in time past. This is maybe we should not tell simple-minded people that very much. They were thinking that they think, for example, when it says in the hadith, the man who told his children to burn him and make him dust and throw him in the wind, and the hadith says Allah ordered the earth to bring what it took, and the people think this is the atoms themselves, this they're collected and put together, etc. And the one who says who will revive these bones, etc. And they thought that specific that very body will be itself resurrected, but this is all a mistake, because that very body, there's nothing called the very body even if you are alive, because we know now from science by certitude that all your body atoms will change within a time of maybe 6 weeks or 2 months or 3 months. So maybe some of your atoms 10 years back have been taken now by the wind and they're part of the body of a Japanese or the Sahara. So it is not the very one in the sense that is you can number them and have a number and say this is the atom number, so on, so on, which used to be in Ismail's body 50 years ago is now in some. No, that's not. It is a similar one. And also the Quran indicates that. But some people, again, they don't get all that. Say, وَيُنْشِئَكُمْ فِي مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. He will recreate you in a situation or in an entity which you don't know now. But it's consciousness. The same consciousness, the same personality is there.
How about from your coccyx?
Even that. This is all. Like the hadith, I'm doubting that this hadith is really authentic, because it has a very odd meaning. That everything from humans disappear except the ajab al-dhanab. You mean that one?
Coccyx, yeah.
The coccyx.
That's
and from that it will be recreated. I think I have the strongest feeling. This is hadith from Abu Hurairah. Abu Hurairah maybe got confused by Ka'b al-Ahbar or someone and took that from Ahl Kitab, who think that if the body disappears completely, nothing can be recreated. Nothing is wrong than it is wronger than that. And the hadith that, for example, a man's molar is bigger than the mountain of Uhud. How can you get even material for the molar from his own body? This is all nonsense. This is a complete new body and new universe. But the same man has consciousness. Otherwise, we will be punishing someone else. The same consciousness and the same man. That's all what is there. The body, which kind of is the same universe. Do we have 92 elements there or something else? That is all is not made out. The whole universe made this appear completely out of existence, and you one still Allah is aware about the consciousness. He's keeping them in his Lawh Mahfuz, in his knowledge, and will create them. So the same consciousness, and you will recognize yourself. I am the same guy, but in a completely new body, in a completely new universe. So just liberate your mind from the grave and the bones in the grave. It's all this nonsense. Then you will be fine.
You know, Ibn Arabi, in his book Fusus al-Hikam, he touches on this, to be honest with you, when he talks about the throne of Bilqis, when he said who will bring it, and then it came, bang, when he blinked. He said it wasn't the actual chair, but through succession, what Allah keeps creating, it wasn't the chair, but it appeared like a chair. And he was talking about this, that the atoms basically sounded like the atoms
you could say various things. You could say, for example, the throne there was taken out of existence, and an exact copy was made here. That's like, or you could, if you follow, for example, Star Trek and so on, it will be like beamed up and down, completely disintegrated and recreated again. All of this, you could have various models in mind. They could represent the reality, whatever it is. It was her throne was there exactly like, and her throne disappeared there. That's definitely.
Because when she said that looks like my throne.
Yeah.
Obviously he's.
Yeah.
He said this is indicating that it wasn't her throne in its atomic state, but it was
an identical copy,
yeah.
Or something. We don't go in these fine points, because this will get us in physics and details of how inside this universe how you can transport, because actually the atoms are identical. You cannot really the atoms, you cannot number them. Yeah, you cannot number them in some sense or another, like that, or the electrons. If they are in the same system, you cannot number. They can't exchange, and you don't know which one exchange with whom. It's they're very difficult things like that in the physics, called the problem of identical particles, etc., etc. But still, it is not necessary. It is very well possible for Allah, maybe even for physical process, but it needs such energy which is not accessible, that you may, like in the beaming of Star Trek, beam me up. That body there which is down will be completely erased and disintegrated, and another one be created. I don't think anyone will have ever energy enough to do that, but it will be within the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, definitely. But no, I don't think it's any energy, because you need to have not only energy, you need to have enough entropy, organization power,
because you have to organize things. Not that the matter itself is not a problem. You may have a supply of material, enough hydrogen and so on, and take and put them together. But how to organize it? It needs enormous organization power. From just from a destructured matter, unstructured, into a complete structured with all the structure and all the memory content of the mind, etc. That's I think that's beyond description.
Need some serious computer.
Isra sounds like a bit of a teleportation.
Yeah.
Isra, because it was his bed was still warm.
Yeah.
And in the speed.
Yes. That needs. But the only thing preventing there have been, I think, one experiment with teleportation with one single photon or electron.
Yeah, I heard about it.
They have been done recently. But the moment you go from a few electrons and another, you are facing serious problem, not of energy. You are facing serious problems of entropy, how to organize things and put the exact organization. And for that, to get that organization level, you need not only the computer power of all the universe, you need all the energy of there, because to organize things, you need energy, and I don't think the universe will supply with that. It's not possible to get it. What has been done over billions of years, you cannot get it in a moment, except if you have infinite power. He has. We don't have. So that's all various options there. You can study the physics, you can study various models, but the simple-minded idea that this is the ajab al-dhanab is that it does not disappear. I will give the guy who fell in the high oven, definitely the ajab al-dhanab disappeared. Some Salafi I have discussed with them, Salafi say, no, maybe something like subatomic. What's subatomic? We know what's ajab al-dhanab. He will just run instead of saying, okay, but Abu Hurairah made a mistake there, he made it marfu', it's not marfu'. Or it is symbolically for something referring to the identity, his bare identity. But since the people are materialistic oriented, he must put it in some point. And actually, the ajab al-dhanab is the most dead part of your body, not the most living part. So, how come that this will be? So, most likely it's just a mistake of one narrator. It's better to say Abu Hurairah made a mistake and got confused in this one point. And this will be not a major problem. Out of 5,000 hadith, making 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, few other mistakes he had made definitely in other places. Like the hadith about the creation, the earth in the first day, the soil in the second day, even the third day, etc. Most classical scholars said this is Old Testament. That's not the saying of them. Or he said, I was holding the hand of the Prophet. Most likely he had something else and got intermixed in his mind with Ka'b al-Ahbar or someone else. That's very well possible. A human being is not infallible, so you have to measure with other information and to have the input. If you get stuck in these things, you will not do your mind nor Islam any favor. Just a general hint. Obviously, every issue of that has to be studied more thoroughly. The isnads, is there any corroborative references, etc., etc. Are the wording correct? All that. What the word ajab al-dhanab means, is it really that or something else? We don't know what's all of that. So so be cautious in these details about the very body, the same. What do you mean with the same body? What is the meaning with the same body? Not even necessarily the same body. Some of them will be expanded in Jahannam. What's the fuss? Allah can make them bigger, with a seat like a countryside and a molar like a mountain of Uhud. It's not the same person. The same person. وَيُنْشِئَكُمْ فِي مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. That's the controlling ayah. He will recreate you, re-establish you in that what you don't know. It's not say even in a universe, in that في ما لا تعلم, in something or in an environment or material which you don't know. The ما لا تعلم is general. In that what is that? Referring to what? Everything. Referring to the universe, referring to the matter, referring to the structure, referring to the appearance. ما لا تعلم. So that's really the controlling one. And all of the details must be taken a bit cautiously. Now, which line we are on? 12? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And this is issue 29 until the end of the page, 35. I think we may do maybe 2 more issues and stop that section roughly. issue مسألة 29 وأن الوحوش تحشر. قال الله تعالى وإذا الوحوش حشرت. آية 5 التكوير. وقال تعالى وما من دابة في الأرض ولا طائر يطير بجناحيه إلا أمم أمثالكم ما فرطنا في الكتاب من شيء ثم إلى ربهم يحشرون. آية 38 الأنعام. حدثنا عبد الله بن يوسف حدثنا أحمد بن فتح حدثنا عبد الوهاب بن عيسى حدثنا أحمد بن محمد حدثنا أحمد بن علي حدثنا مسلم بن الحجاج حدثنا قتيبة بن سعيد حدثنا إسماعيل بن جعفر عن عن العلاء بن عبد الرحمن عن أبيه عن أبي هريرة أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال لتؤدن الحقوق إلى أهلها يوم القيامة حتى يقاد للشاة الجلحاء من الشاة القرناء. Issue number 29. And even the animals will be resurrected or will be collected. حشر. قال الله تعالى وإذا الوحوش حشرت. When the animals will be حشر will be collected. So, آية 5 التكوين. وقال تعالى وما من دابة في الأرض ولا طائر يطير بجناحيه إلا أمم أمثالكم. No dabba, no walking animal on earth or a bird flying with his wings except they are a nation or a community like you. ما فرطنا في الكتاب شيء. Nothing is lost out of the book. Then they will be يحشرون إلى ربهم. They will be gathered حشر gathering. آية 38 الأنعام. Report to us عبد الله بن يوسف. Report to us أحمد بن فتح. Report to us عبد الوهاب بن عيسى. Report to us أحمد بن محمد. Report to us أحمد بن علي. Report to us مسلم بن الحجاج. Report to us قتيبة بن سعيد. Report to us إسماعيل بن جعفر. From العلاء بن عبد الرحمن. From his father. From أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال Messenger of Allah said the rights or the obligation will be discharged to its people who owe them or due them in the day of judgment. Even the sheep or the doe which has no horns will be given respite or given retribution against the sheep which has horns, which taking the opportunity and ram here with her horns while the other cannot return back in dunya. This is a minor point actually, because there are other hadith that these animals will be, after the settlement, will be turned into dust. And this is the narration. One narration says that that's the reason when the kafir see these animals after being settled up turned into dust, Allah says خلاص, all is settled now, no injustice is left, be dust. So the kafir say, I wish I were dust so I can escape the hellfire. يا ليتني كنت ترابا. That's some narrations, but I said it's not a major, just a small comment. The ayahs which we translated, the fact that when the animals حشرت, if you read the context of Surah Al-Takwir, it may be before Yawm Al-Qiyamah. That will be because the word Hashr can be used even for Yawm Al-Qiyamah. Like for example, the Prophet said, one of the signs of Yawm Al-Qiyamah, a fire coming from Qa'r Adan, from deep Adan, which will be evidently a massive volcano, which will push the people up to Syria. A slow fire will be following the people. When they sleep, it sleeps with them. It slows and accelerates, so they will be able to get away. So even if they are forced to have a sleep and rest, it is far away in the horizon, coming slow. The people say, oh, we know the speed is sufficiently slow, we can have a nap and then get up and quickly and then again a nap until they get to Syria, which means people on cars and so on will take few days, others maybe in months, until they get, and it stops there, so they will be in Syria. So this is called hashr, meaning gathering, pushing. So maybe this hashr of animal is before Yawm Al-Qiyamah, but the hadith is clear, it is settlement in Yawm Al-Qiyamah. So the hadith is what will clarify that this hashr is in Yawm Al-Qiyamah to settle the accounts between the animals, which means the animals also having some kind of a bit of small will and small aggression which has to be settled, because Allah will even the accounts completely, no injustice will be left until it's completely settled out.
He doesn't punish them, so it will get them to say sorry to each other.
Or horn each other, whatever, or ram each other, or something like that. It will, the settlement, the details of settlement, Allah knows how to settle things the best way.
Or will they actually be conscious of these settlements?
It seems to be, definitely, because they are resurrected. Otherwise, it will not be very much sense if they are not conscious. And then, Allahu A'lam. Anyway, as I said, this is another major point of contention, but someone could say actually this is metaphorical in the sense that even if the sheep would have, someone could say no, this hashr is all before Yawm Al-Qiyamah, because it will be major calamities and the animals will be collected, will be running, as we see if a big fire is in Africa, for example, the whole animal run in the safety direction and they will be like collected. And it is a dark area, it's not very important in Aqidah anyway, and this is metaphorical in the sense, but I'm not adopting this point. I think it will be settled like that. They have some consciousness. It's not true that the animals are completely unconscious. They have some consciousness.
They're not in a sense,
completely.
total Muslim, as in submitters.
No. That's a method in the matter of Allah only. They don't worship idols and so on because this is ingrained in their structure. But aggression against each other, transgression and things like that, one of them recognizing he is stronger and taking things which do not belong to him or violating the principles of instinct which he is obliged to follow, something like that, a little bit of will is there.
Yeah, they do have a bit of
A bit of intelligence is there and so on. So for that will be settled and they will be turned to dust. But someone could say, if someone want to argue, could say that's because حتى even all rights will be settled or all obligations will be settled, even that in the form of exaggeration. If they were resurrected and they will be accountable to them, this will be even settled without they are said. This is a form of a metaphorical exaggeration. But I will not adopt that. I would say it could be at face value. There's no problem. Allah knows how much consciousness is there, how much responsibility is there. Only those maybe will be balanced out which have really responsibility level of brain. So speaking about sheep, but it's not speaking about worms which have definitely have not enough brain power to be responsible for anything, for example. It's just almost like mechanical being, yeah. So it will be only higher.
So ram, the one that butts the one without
Yeah.
the butt, he'll be given horns and he'll.
That's something like that. Allah Alam. We don't need to indulge in such fine points, but it will be settled as يقتص. It will take qisas. What will be the qisas? Having an equal amount of punishment or something like that. Yeah, just one more issue. This page 36, issue 30, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we may stop here or the next one. Let us see because it's not long. issue 30 مسألة 30 وأن الصراط حق وهو طريق يوضع بين ظهراني جهنم فينجو من شاء الله تعالى ويهلك من شاء. And the sirat, the path, is truth, and it is a way or a bridge which will be crossing over the hellfire, so everyone has to cross, and only those who Allah has written under the happy one will escape, and some will fall into the hellfire. Would be, and the hadith have clarified that. Let me read it in Arabic first, with not Arabic. وأن الصراط حق وهو طريق يوضع بين ظهراني جهنم فينجو من شاء الله تعالى ويهلك من شاء. This part we translate and then go to the next part. And the sirat is the truth, it exists, and it is a way or a bridge span over the hellfire. So it's a bridge, which is a way, and some people will escape, cross over into safety, and some will fall in the hellfire. ريبورت حدثنا عبد الله بن يوسف حدثنا أحمد بن فتح حدثنا عبد الوهاب بن عيسى حدثنا أحمد بن محمد حدثنا أحمد بن علي حدثنا مسلم بن الحجاج حدثنا زهير بن حرب حدثنا يعقوب بن إبراهيم بن سعد حدثنا أبي عن ابن شهاب عن عطاء بن يزيد الليثي أن أبا هريرة أخبره أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال في حديث ويضرب الصراط بين ظهري جهنم. وقال عليه السلام في هذا الحديث أيضا وفي جهنم كلاليب مثل شوك السعدان. هل رأيتم شوك السعدان؟ فإنها مثل شوك السعدان غير لا يعلم قدر عظمها إلا الله عز وجل تخطف الناس بأعمالهم فمنهم يعني الموبق بعمله ومنهم المخردل حتى ينجو. وذكر باقي الخبر. ريبورت أس عبد الله بن يوسف ريبورت أس أحمد بن فتح ريبورت أس عبد الوهاب بن عيسى ريبورت أس أحمد بن محمد ريبورت أس أحمد بن علي ريبورت أس مسلم بن الحجاج إمام مسلم ريبورت أس زهير بن حرب ريبورت أس يعقوب بن إبراهيم بن سعد ريبورت أس by my father Yaqub says his father Ibrahim from Ibn Shihab al-Zuhri, we know Ibn Shihab, Muhammad ibn Shihab al-Zuhri, from Ata ibn Yazid al-Laythi, that Abu Hurairah reported to him, informed that the Messenger of Allah said, then there will be a bridge or a way struck over Jahannam, over bridging Jahannam. And the Messenger of Allah said in that hadith also, and in the hellfire there are kalalib, hooks, like the thorn of Sa'dan. And he asked, have you seen the thorn of Sa'dan? The thorn of Sa'dan is, I have not seen it, but I think it is, I have seen in the desert thorny entities, which like a ball with so many thorns around it. And imagine that is with a chain, and like they use in the war in the Middle Ages. It is modeled according to, maybe that's the Sa'dan. But its size and ferocity is known only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And will be flying around, hitting people. Some will escape and hit, and some will escape after being cut in pieces, so his pieces will crawl to safety, and some will fall in. So either the Sa'dan gets you and you are in the hellfire, or it hits you, you disintegrate in pieces till the pieces are crawling, like in the Exterminator movie. Another hit until you escape there. You're still unlucky. You're still unlucky that you escaped in bits and pieces. you can still call yourself lucky that you escaped, even in bits and pieces. Because if you fall in, that's most likely the end of it. So some will be موبق بعمله, will be destroyed and fall, and some will مخردل, mean be cut in bits and pieces, completely in pieces. Hit like scratched, but not enough to get him down, not enough to pull him in the hellfire. So he'll fall in pieces, and the pieces will continue crawling until he gets. And also the other hadith, the sirat will be apparent to the people according to their deeds. Some people will see, for them it will be like thin and narrow like a sword. Imagine walking on a sword.
Thinner than a hair.
Cutting. Yeah, thinner than. And for them it is a wide road, they're just walking there leisurely, seeing nothing. And some will go across there crawling. Mostly like some of these had been hit with sa'dan, or others will be walking, others will be like on a horse, and some like the lightning. So speed is different, size of the road is different, it's an apparent road, it's a road of another reality altogether, depending upon your deed. You see it as according to your deed. And for some it is as thin as a sword. And still the one that's thin as a sword may be able to crawl and get. And maybe it's even thinner for others, which will cut them in two pieces and fall. There's no way you can continue. We don't know. If it's like a sword, it may cut the guy in two pieces. Usually, like in some movies, a laser beam cuts him and he falls in two pieces in the hellfire and joins down there. All these phenomena are there. So this sirat will be across the hellfire. And this is in the Quran, the sirat is not mentioned, but many ahadith is mutawatir. And in the Quran it says only مَا مِنْكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا. Every one of you will come to the hellfire. Then the believer will be saved, and that's what the sirat explains. So you will be crossing over the hellfire. You will be coming to the hellfire and seeing it below you. There's no escape. You have to go and see it and cross over it. That's the world.
So everyone then sees Jannah.
It's on the other side. But if you don't get there, what's the purpose of seeing it except to be even worse?
But what I'm saying is everyone will have to cross this bridge.
Yeah.
Everyone. And so
he may not cross it at all. He may fall, and he will never get to Jannah. But he see it in the horizon. Yeah.
That's the beginning. That's the end. That's the bridge.
Yeah.
Everyone will come to here.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be given the choice. Walk now.
They must walk. There's no escape.
Yeah. So walk, and then
you have to walk. There's no escape. You have to, and you have to get there and walk.
And that's after you've been accounted.
If someone is sure that he's falling, he may go directly in Jahannam instead of going in the Salat. That's the other bad choice. Either you walk or you fall. So make your choice. It's no other way.
After the hisab and everything.
That's after the hisab, after finishing.
So
yeah.
you're done.
And there seems to be some munafiqeen may escape, and then they will be caught later. So after they think they have entered paradise, and
escape to where?
To the other side, and they think they are fine according to their public deeds, and then they will be cheated like they were cheating in dunya. They will be after they come there. Almost at the paradise, then a wall is struck between them and the believer, and they say, "We were with you. We crossed with you." Say, it seems to be, but you have been hiding things which you are not saying publicly. Now it has a come after they have.
As well. The light of Iman.
Yeah.
Some people they'll say, "Give us some of your light so we can see."
Yeah, that's where we say when we're there. That's the Quran. That's the Quran. So there's some hadith saying they cross safely. First they are cheated, like they have been cheating in dunya and pretending, and then they will be caught at the last time when they think they have reached the paradise. We were able to cheat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we know that He doesn't know. Now we got you. Gotcha. If you think you have been He doesn't know what you are. He knows. He knew, but He gave you that. So you will taste.
There's also give him that rope. You know, He says in Surah Al-Baqarah, give him a rope.
Yeah, many things because they are trying to cheat Allah. Allah is not going to be cheated, but He will treat them the same way. You see, what you do, you will be rewarded the same. So that's the sirat. It's mostly as a sirat with that specification is in the hadith. The Quran only that every one of you will come to the bridge of hellfire and take a look into it. Then the believer will be escaping, and the non-believer will be collapsing in it. That's the Quran saying, but does not mention the sirat specifically. Okay, I think we stop here so I can catch the people there. That's we came to line 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Stop here.
Yeah. And the hadith is very long, and he mentioned the rest of the hadith. We stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue with page 36, line